After 30 years of conflict in the South Caucasus, Azerbaijan emerged victorious over Armenia in the Nagorno-Karabakh War. Both countries had previously belonged to the Soviet Empire, but Russia was unable to keep the peace in the region. One more problem remains: the Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic, an exclave of Azerbaijan. After the fall of the Soviet Union, it found itself separated from the rest of Azerbaijan by a thin strip of Armenian territory. Resolution of this issue may call for talks between Russia and the United States. Why is this so important for Azerbaijan? And how far is it prepared to go to find a solution?
Since the start of the 1990s, Azerbaijan has had no overland link with Nakhchivan. If you needed to get there by land, then you needed to go via Iran, because the road through Georgia and Turkey took too long, or you'd just have to fly. But some goods can't be sent by plane. When Azerbaijan took control of territory previously controlled by the Armenians, once Armenia recognized Azerbaijan's territorial integrity, once the final talks began on a peace treaty, the possibility of having transit corridors through Armenia came up, including a transport corridor linking Azerbaijan proper with Nakhchivan.
But what status should this route have? And what form should it take?
Azerbaijan wants something like an exterritorial corridor outside the control of Armenia, but Armenia would like to have control of the route, and this seems to be the crucial issue right now in negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan, because Armenia feels that a framework leading to an exterritorial corridor would strip it of part of its sovereignty and control of its own territory. But it is, of course, prepared for any concessions in the shape of electronic customs, for example, without the transit driver coming into contact with Armenian state officials. But talks are underway on this matter.
But why is this link between Nakhchivan and the rest of Azerbaijan so important in regional terms? And how can it benefit Russia?
Nakhchivan has a border with Turkey, and a rail link to the Turkish city of Kars is currently under construction, which would link up with the Turkish rail network. So if the link through Armenia is open, then goods could be transported directly from Baku to Turkey and via Turkey to Europe. And, for example, Russia may also want to use it to send goods to Turkey. We know that Russia is very keen on having good relations with Turkey because it's one of the only partners it has in that part of the world which it trades with normally.
Are there alternatives to the route through Armenia? And what does Azerbaijan prefer?
The importance of this route for Azerbaijan can be seen in its statement that it will construct the road to Nakhchivan via Iran if Armenia doesn't agree to it. I was in Baku recently and I spoke with experts who say they'd most like two routes, one through Iran and the other through Armenia. If things deteriorate with Iran, then more can be sent through Armenia. And if things turn sour with Armenia, then they'll send more through Iran.
It's thought that the United States is interested in this road linking Azerbaijan proper to its exclave, and that it will need to cooperate with the Kremlin in this issue. Why?
It would be a strange situation for the Americans and the Russians to have a shared interest, but Karabakh was such a weird situation where the Minsk Group was responsible for resolving this conflict. This group was co-led by France, the United States and Russia. And this interest instability was very similar for Russia and America for many years. It appears that the Americans are more interested in unblocking Armenia, making sure Armenia isn't isolated so that it can join in the economic circulation of the region. This is connected to Armenia's pro-Western pivot.
With Russia failing to come to Armenia's aid over the Nagorno-Karabakh war, does Armenia still want it to play a role in safeguarding an Azerbaijani passage through its territory? And will Russia have a say in the matter?
Russia would really like to have a presence there to monitor this route. Armenia really does not want Russia to be there. Azerbaijan is behaving somewhat ambiguously since, on the one hand, it says that it wants direct one-on-one talks with Armenia, but on the other hand, it points out that, according to the agreements to end the Nagorno-Karabakh war, Russians should be stationed there. But the situation is different now from what we had in 2020. There are no Russian peacekeepers because they were withdrawn in the spring due to an Azerbaijani-Russian agreement. The situation is totally different, so why should there be any Russians there? But talks are underway about this. And it means that the small Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic, which you might struggle to find on a map, is now a piece of the larger geopolitical puzzle on the scale of an entire region.
Thank you for watching. This film is a supplement to the discussion with Wojciech Górecki on Azerbaijan. Find the link to that on screen now.